Okay, picking up where we left off, there was a mistake on my part. You'll notice here that when I zoom in to underneath this gable, you see that there's a little gap here. We actually wanted to select all of the walls that go up to these roofs. So even the side walls that are on the edges that define slope. So we want to attach those as well, and that fixes that little issue there. So let's go back to our second floor plan. Actually, I'm sorry, let's go to our roof plan. Now, in our roof plan, we don't see the plan below. So again, that's a view range issue. We made this so that we could see the top of this roof. Now, we're not cutting through the roof, but we actually want to see the roof below as well. So we're going to edit our view range, and we're just going to change our bottom to be level below. Hit apply. Now, this is the problem you're going to have. This is where the bottom and the view depth, they run into each other. The view depth plane is set above the bottom clip plane. So change this to level below, and as long as these both say level below, it'll show that. So now we see our roof, or sorry, our lower roof and our upper roof together. So what we want to do is we want to see our standing seam roof hatch, but these roofs currently are showing asphalt shingles. Actually, they're not showing anything, but the material is asphalt shingle. So we go to Edit Type. We are going to simply rename this one, and we're just going to rename asphalt, or remove asphalt shingle, and say standing seam. Hit OK. We're going to edit our structure, and our finish on the exterior is asphalt shingle. We're fine with the thickness. We're just going to change the material. So we're going to click into there, click the ellipsis button. Now, if you try to find standing seam, you're not going to find it. So this is again another custom material. So we have to come down here to the Create New Material button, click Create New Material. It creates a default new material. We are going to right click, rename this standing seam, and actually maybe I'll put in 12-inch standing seam because that's what our hatch is going to be spaced at. And the only thing we're going to change here is the surface pattern, and we're going to click this button here, the pattern button. Again, we want a model so that this pattern shows up in all views that have the roof in it. So elevations, roof plans, anything basically. Now, if we try to find we're looking for a 12-inch spacing, and we don't have that. When we created our wood siding, 6-inch parallel, that was fine. So we want a 12-inch parallel. We don't have it. So we have to create our own pattern. Down here, you'll notice these buttons. We have new fill pattern. You can delete a fill. You can duplicate a fill. What we're going to do is say new fill pattern. We're going to call it 12-inch vertical. And it's a basic type because if you do custom, it gets pretty crazy. I won't get into custom. We're going to do a basic parallel line. Our line angle is 90 degrees, so it's vertical, and our spacing is 12 inches. If you click crosshatch, it gives you two lines, and you can change their angles, but we just want parallel lines. Oh, and it got rid of that, so I'm going to again call this 12-inch vertical. Hit OK. So that is now what I've chosen. Hit OK, and now I've got a 12-inch vertical line, surface pattern on my 12-inch standing seam material. I'm going to hit OK, and I've now changed that there. Hit OK again. Finally hit OK in our type properties, and you'll now see that our standing seam roof pattern is showing. Now, to wrap up our roof, we need to wrap up our roof plan, I have a few sections in this drawing that we're not going to get to, so I'm going to hide these for now. you will not have these unless you created a section so that you can see them. I tend to create sections because I find them useful when I'm building. Actually, this one is section 1. So you may have a section. The final deliverable does not have a section view, so I am going to go back to my roof plan, and I'm going to hide this for now. You may or may not have to do this if you have a section. So this is what we're looking at. And the other thing, this probably won't happen on this drawing, but if you have these showing up in your sheets, you can always hide these as well. These are the elevation view arrows. So I'm just going to hide these by category. So this is what I see for my roof plan. And again, you've probably noticed I always work in thin lines mode. If I turn thin lines on and off and zoom in, you can see the difference. So for this, I'll put thin lines, turn it off. And we just need to put the slope arrows here. So to do those, that is an annotation. So first, we're going to make sure our scale is correct. Now with Revit, you can always do this after the fact. It's not like AutoCAD. It's not as selective about what it makes a certain scale. So 3/16. And we're going to go to the Annotate tab, and we're going to click this button here, Spot Slope. And if you hover over a roof, it simply gives you the slope with a little slope arrow. So that's going to say 9 inches and 1 foot. I think in the final deliverable I changed this. I'm not going to grade that. You know, if it says 9 and 1, that works. It's just that's not really the visual style I like. So usually when I want to, if I start using this and I say, hey, that's not what I want, the first thing I want to do is check out, do I have any other types? I don't. Well, then I can go into my edit type and I can start investigating. Now, these I know have this units format. So, and you can see that it says, you know, whatever the dimension is /1 foot. If I want to change this, this is where I would do it. And what I can do is I can change the units from rise to a foot, and I could say it's actually a ratio to 12, and then my unit symbol is :12. If you do that and hit OK, you'll see 9:12, and that's what I'm used to seeing. So now that I've changed the type, the next time I do this, it's going to be exactly the same. And I try to place these so that they don't interfere too much with the hatching, although you'll notice that Revit will automatically break hatching for text. And I try to place them, I probably placed these a little too high. Let me select these, and I'm going to move them down. Now I just did that with the direction arrows on my keyboard, and if you use them up and down, I use the term nudge. You can also hold Shift and it'll move them even further for each click. So I'm going to try to put these relatively in the middle of the vertical roof. Same thing over here. I'm going to go back to Spot Slope, put these somewhere in the middle, and I try to line them up. Here I'm going to get my 3 and 12. Here I'm going to get 3 and 12. Now the problem over here is that my roof isn't big enough for this line. There's a couple ways I can do this. You can select it afterwards and simply, oops, that moves the text, drag the whole thing. Is that in the middle? I probably want to get this lined up with these. And there we go. You can also change the overall length of these in the type, but I'm fine with the length of these out here. It's just that one, so you can do them on a case-by-case basis. And there's our roof plan. Our roof plan is essentially finished. I can go ahead to a sheet and place this on a sheet. I do not have a roof plan sheet, so again, sheets is right click, new sheet. I'm going to use that A110 title block that I've already got loaded. So I've got a sheet here. Now I can rename this over here. So I'm right clicking, rename, and this is going to be A1.3. Oops. It's going to be called roof plan. Don't forget to change your lab day and your name. These should also, you'll have already changed these, and these are attributes throughout the entire project. So the lab day and the author will automatically fill out if you have already changed them. The scale will fill out when you drag this on. So let's drag this from our project browser, the roof view, and we're going to place it, and there we go. The only thing is, I don't like the length of this line. They tend to make it be the exact length of the view. Now, the reason that I didn't get this huge window like I did last time was because when I was in the roof plan, I hid those elevation markers, and that shrunk my crop window. So you may actually want to do that, because that makes your life a lot easier. It doesn't place the title all the way down here. I'm not going to go over how to create the second floor plan. It's pretty much the same exact thing, or at least the second floor plan sheet in this video tutorial. I'm going to jump back to my second floor plan now, and I'm going to start getting these walls in the right places. So I missed a wall here. Actually, I'm going to turn thin lines, that's TL is the command, off, or sorry, on. I forgot my closet wall here, and I did not get the floor still has to go out to get this closet wall. So what I can do is, I know that this closet, all my closets are 2 feet deep, so that wall's in the right spot. Now I can select my floor, and I need to change the boundary to include that closet. So I'm going to edit boundary, and now I'm going to use that, well, not yet. Actually, I can't use the align tool. I'm going to select these faces of this wall, and now I can use that trim tool, trim the corner, that's TR. Those are already trimmed, so I need to trim this one to corner. So now our floor outline picks up that closet, and when I hit the green check mark, again, I'm going to say no to this, and now I have a closet. So now I can start getting these things in place. This wall, using the temporary dimension, I can drag that over. I want to be 3 feet because I'm going to have a 2'6" door swinging in here, and I need some clearance. This wall is going to be 2 feet, again, closet depth. This wall is going to be 2 feet deep, and this wall is going to be 2 feet deep. Now I'm leaving this wall in place because, again, this wall rests on the center line of the wall below. And now I'm going to use the align tool. That's AL, or you go up to modify, align, and align to this wall, and I know that this wall aligns here, so I can say to this wall align this wall. This wall and this wall, actually this wall I want to get 3 feet, and look at that, I already placed it at 3 feet, so that's good to go. This is the only wall I still need to move, and I need to make sure that I have, let's say, a 2'6" door plus 6 inches on either side is a good rule of thumb. So that makes, 3'6". So 3'6" to this wall, and now all my walls are in place, and I'm ready to move on to the next step.